I'm Supermoon Tarot, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking to my Sagittariuses. Hello, how are you doing today? I just bent my nail backwards. I don't know if you can see it. It really hurt. It was not fun. If you've been there, please let me know in the comments below. I want to know I'm not alone in this. Anyways, the way we're going to be handling today's video is the first half is going to be all about your personal energy and the story behind that so we can better understand what's going on. And the second half is going to be about you and somebody else's energy and the story behind that. This is mostly for my sun signs, but moon and rising are always welcomed. Of course, it's just about the message resonating. So let's first get started with the personal energy going on. I shuffle beforehand because I take a long time to shuffle. I talk to my cards, all that jazz. Ooh. This is some interesting energy coming up. Oh, wow. Wow, okay. So many things are, sorry. Nothing's bad here. I'm oohing and awing because there is a lot of conflicting things going on. Both multiple, a lot of just general information as well as, it's interesting. You're going to probably notice when I'm going about reading this, I'm going to most likely trip up over my words because that's what it feels like. There is this perfectly melted or mixed, you can see it's already starting to happen, energy between feeling divided but also unified. It's working, it's somehow balancing itself out, but definitely don't be surprised if you find yourself having like a lot of energy and ideas, but then also feeling like it's kind of running within itself and you're not able to properly vocalize it, or I don't want to say it doesn't come to light, it's just more you suddenly get confused or ADD about it. It's like things are progressing, but a lot of the overexcitement, oh my goodness, it's already happening, excitement is slowing you down. You can see the energy's coming through really strong. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to give me a moment. My third eye has been absolutely bonkers the last week or two. I can't quite seem to get a handle on it. I'm way too overstimulated, and when I'm like channeling and doing this, it's coming through harder than ever. So if that's the energy I'm picking up, you can hear it literally come out in me. So I'm going to do my best with this type of energy, but let's get started to say everything that's happening. So let's view the Queen of Swords as our sort of masculine energy. The thing that's really interesting here is the trading of places between the masculine and femininity. That's our first sort of back and forth dualistic vibe going on. Masculine energy is usually the side of you that goes and does things proactively. You go out and you take action. And the feminine side is more about feelings and intuition and checking in with yourself and evaluating. And it's almost like a role reverse going on here, which is really interesting. So in your masculine side, I can see that you're doing something, but it almost feels like instead of going out and doing something action-wise, there's like a sitting back sort of tone to it, more resting. But the way you are taking action and being assertive is through your words. This is a very vocal vibe popping up, hardcore, really strong. Oh my goodness, it is resonating in my throat. This is so hard to do. I'm sorry. I'm telling you, my channeling has like been bonkers lately. I'm having a hard time controlling it. Anyways, so in the Queen of Swords energy popping up, this is somebody who tells the truth and they are extremely honest. This is beautiful because they understand that they do not need to shield others from the truth. This is done out of love and respect, because they understand in order to get things done quicker, it would be best if we were just kind of got to the point, so to speak, little, pun there. And in the feminine side, We have somebody who is getting things done. Again, it feels more masculine in nature. Like this feels more feminine in nature. But like I said, very back and forth. I can only tell you what's there. I'm having trouble understanding why it's such a role reverse. Maybe to balance itself out. I don't know. But anyways, the Knight of Swords going on here is somebody who's then taking action and speaking up. But while this is more of truth, this is more of like a defensive nature. Because it's on the feminine side, this is definitely going to come through more in your emotions. So as you start to kind of identify other people's emotions, identify your emotions, don't be surprised that you're going to feel the deep desire to go out of your way to let everyone know about this and how they're feeling, and you want to point everything out and defend everybody and defend yourself. It's not a defensive nature, like it's not a negative thing. It's just like you're seeing injustice and you want to do something about it. Either way, it's a very strong vocal vibe going through. And what's interesting here is pretend you're in the middle of this. It feels like you're both being pulled apart by this, and you're also simultaneously defending yourself with this. So don't be surprised again if you feel like you're going out and you've got all this energy and all of this stuff to say, and then you keep getting tongue-tied like I am now. I can see why you're getting tongue-tied here. There's two main things going on. I already actually see somebody coming through for like another person popping up in your life. I can see that it's not working out so well at the moment. It's interesting because normally if we have a Seven of Cups situation, again, right next to this card in reverse, this often represents when something isn't working out because either you or your partner have a lot of other romantic options, so to speak, that are kind of, taking your interest. And the thing here is it just doesn't mean that. It more refers to the vibe of like passion projects and hobbies, because while this other person and you aren't melding the best right now, that you're kind of being comforted to know, hey, if you want to go work on your hobbies or hang out with your friends or do other stuff, like there's all this fun stuff around you that if you want to give that more attention and back away from the situation, it is there. Keep in mind you are sorry. Sometimes I get distracted because I can't tell if I can hear my neighbor walking by and listening into me. Kind of sounds like it. Oh well, what can you do? Anyways, so it's kind of giving you the comforting message that it's like, if you want to go do this, go for it. But again, that idea is interesting and continues on over here. When we have a Six of Pentacles in a reverse situation, often I get this for two people where unfortunately somebody is taking advantage of the other one knowingly. They're aware of their good nature and they're using them, and then often in many cases losing them. But in this case, that's not what I'm getting. I am getting an overexertion of energy in one person's department, but it's interestingly enough in being done in order to bring something to light. When we have a Moon card in reverse, this is often referred to when your first impression of them was wrong. So the secret isn't some part of them, some lie they've been keeping about you. It's like an overall how they portray themselves. This isn't always necessarily negative. And it's funny, we have a lot of cards that imply negativity towards this other person, but I'm just not feeling that. So we'll have to see when I pull for the second half of it. But when we have the impression being wrong, sometimes this can be somebody who portrays himself as very maybe extroverted, and you actually find that they're introverted. That's not necessarily bad. Do you see what I'm saying? Either way, there needs to be more clarity going on here of a stance of like, what does everyone want to do? What's going on? Do you want to make more time for each other? What's happening? There needs to be more clarity going on in the long term, because it's just a little bit of a mess right now. And we know that. Again, this pops up and represents the two of you. And again, I am still pulling cards for the second half of the two of you guys. But it's like this vibe of people are interested in each other, they're just kind of accidentally going the wrong way with the best of intentions. Not because they're interested in seeking other people, but it's like it's almost like this vibe of like, let's say you wanted to go meet up with them at their house and they wanted to meet up with you at at your house, and you both are trying to run to see each other, but unknowingly you're missing each other by going the other direction. Does this make sense? The other thing I see popping up majorly, again, this really heavily is your vibe and your strong urge to speak the truth and be very vocal at this point of time, is it feels like some sort of promise was broken. I think this is so interesting because promises being broken can be very vague and can literally be anything. It can be a promise with yourself. It can be a promise with an idea. It can be a promise with the world. Whatever it is, something got kind of like, I don't want to say betrayed, but it feels unfortunate something didn't work out that you thought was going to work out. Again, I'm being told this is very vague and abstract metaphor for what it is. I can't be more specific than that. But other than that, I can see over here in the Two of Pentacles, you're being advised that you need to kind of make more room for whatever needs to be sorted out, essentially. Something is starting to get messed up because there's too many things going on. This could be too much energy. This could be too many activities going on. I definitely see that being hinted at over here. And you need to kind of drop a couple of activities and just focus. Otherwise, it's not going to add up well for anything, if that makes sense. But again, it keeps being brought up with this vibe of you're putting a lot of energy into something in order to bring it to light. I think that's so interesting. What is this thing that needs to be brought to light that is consuming so much of your attention? It is very generosity filled. I want to point that out. It feels like you're choosing to take on all these activities and focus your attention in this kind of way because it's like for the greater good kind of vibe. That's what I see going on. So with that being said, let's look into this other person and see if that pops up and figure out what all this crazy energy is going on here. It's so interesting. We keep getting cards that imply this person isn't good, but I just don't feel that way. Yeah, I thought so. Okay. I see, this is what's so important about tarot. You don't want to jump to any conclusions, especially if you feel a vibe. Even if cards continue to be really negative. I mean, I know most tarot readers would say don't do that, don't just keep pulling cards, and I agree you don't want to, but if you're being called to pull more cards, that's the whole point of tarot. You got to go with what you're feeling. So the Hangman and the Devil card is definitely not necessarily positive. The Devil card straight up talks about a relationship not being very healthy, and the Hangman is your definition of somebody who, I don't want to call it the ghosting card. I would definitely say this is more of the ghosting card when we have a Four of Swords situation, especially if it was upright. But it's more of like they can't seem to make a conclusive decision. And we talked about that with the Two of Pentacles. A decision needs to be made. And that is the problem that's meshing things up when we look at the Lover's card previously in reverse. So that doesn't necessarily give the best energy and imply it's not the best decision, but the thing with the Devil card is we have to come at it from a more loving perspective, because the Devil in upright in general talks about the idea of somebody who is taking on unhealthy habits or unhealthy decisions in a relationship in order to fill a void that can't be filled with these actions. So they're trying to fix it, but sometimes we do things and we mean well and it almost just ends up not being the best, so to speak. And that's definitely what's going on when we see that over here. And we actually have the positive confirmation that things are going to work out really well for you, like for you guys, like above and beyond. Again, the Hangman is somebody who's kind of closed off. They're trying to figure things out. It isn't the ghosting card, as I like we just talked about. So there is the hint of something better. But it's also still, before I go more into this story, it is being advised, like, stop doing this. This isn't helping anybody. You know what I mean? It isn't even helping them. So we have over here in the Eight of Cups in reverse, the extremely positive message and reasoning behind why they've kind of not been clearest, sometimes holding back, not quite sure of what they want to do as far as the situation is concerned. This often pops up when people are trying to figure stuff out on a deep personal level. Sometimes an identity crisis, if I'm being honest, or spiritual. It doesn't mean they aren't into you. In fact, it's less of anything having to do with you, which I often find a personal comfort. So it's like somebody saying, I don't know who I am right now. And it's not, I don't want to be with you because I don't like you. It's like, well, I don't know how I can be with you because I don't even know how to be with myself right now. It's nothing personal. I'm not interested in anyone else. I just kind of feel disheveled personally. So that's where that energy came in again. Remember when we talked about how in the first half of this kind of conflicting, this sort of conflicting vibe going on? Yeah, oh my goodness, I love how things work out like that. Okay, so we have her trying to be honest and speak her... I'm so sorry for this ambulance popping up. Whatever, I would pause it, but I'm in a flow right now. This is her looking towards... I'm so sorry. So annoying. It's actually not annoying. I just realized ambulances are for serious stuff. Let's wish that person the best. What I'm trying to express here, though, is that this is you talking to this person saying, I don't like what's going on. I don't think this is working out great for us. What the heck's going on? But you're not necessarily going anywhere. And then this is the energy over here of you saying, listen, I'm trying to be reserved and give you space, but I have to speak up. This isn't what is going on. I see you. I see you're hurting. I see you're struggling. Please speak to me. I want to be there to help you. I want to be there to help myself. Let's make something happen. So there's a lot of positivity behind this. So because this person's having an identity crisis, they're figuring stuff out, it's really taken this relationship that seemed to have a lot more, almost like when we have an Eight of Wands upright situation, this is intense, like a whirlwind romance. It's quite positive, and it just comes to, when it's in reverse, it comes to a dead halt, and it stops, and it's quite abrupt and emotional for the couple to experience. So if you felt like this sudden disengagement, they needed to figure something out, and desperately, when I see a Four of Swords situation reverse, this is when somebody is overworked and they need a break desperately. And when they don't get a break, and this is the warning card of it's been a while, you should have taken a break a while ago. This is when they start to slip up, things happen, they're basically being screamed at by the universe that they need to pull back and figure some stuff out. Sometimes that's taking a nap, sometimes it's taking a couple days off. In this case, they needed to, in so many words, spiritually pull back and figure some stuff out, like we talked about. So again, I just want to give you the confirmation that none of this had to be personally about you. You didn't do anything that negatively affected anything. You've got great energy and you can help them, which is wonderful. But if they've seemed like you're not quite sure where it's going, don't worry. I actually know where it's going. It's all going to work out really well between the two of you. These are our two confirmation cards that they will be coming out of this state of being unavailable, and they will come back to you, and everything's cool, and you're going to get back together, and all is good. And then these are our really positive cards of everything seems like it's above and beyond a 180 better than what it was before. This is togetherness. This is an extreme promise of strong longevity. This is about, you just feel like you really enjoy each other. The likability factor is really strong. You're going to be having a lot of fun together, a lot of celebrations, a lot of social time with other people. It's going to be a huge celebration getting together because of, we talk about the longevity and intensity. And I do want to point out that the longevity only gets, I guess you could say, double or triple confirmed when we have this vibe of who they are as a person. They are somebody who wanted to make sure they were the best version of themselves in order to be with you and be the person they need you need them to be, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm very excited for this kind of confusing energy overall for you, both personally and with this other person, all this stuff going on, to have a beautiful, nice neat bow at the end of it and be a pretty wonderful present from the universe. So it's going to be worth it. Thank you for bearing with me and my tongue twistedness. Oh my goodness, it was pretty hard to get through this, but I'm glad I did because I had such a great time. I hope you did too. If you did, please consider giving this video a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. Have a beautiful day. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye!